This is sick.
Yo, that's crazy.
Hello and welcome back. I'm musicbyLukas and I'm here with RETROVISION, and we are going to be checking some of your demos, and we might just be choosing some to support, so make sure to stay till the end and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this, track tutorials and career tips.
Minutes and I couldn't speak, like that you're gone. Something went wrong, choked up you. Where'd you go? I just need to know. Please bring me some closure. Please bring me some closure. Where'd you go? I just need to know.
It sounds dope anyways. Wow. It's a little bit empty in the build-up, I think. And there could be more effects in the second part of the build-up. Also like layer the snares to make like a snare like sounds a little bit fuller, I think, because it sounds a little bit tiny right now.
It's really dope though. It has a good melody, it has a good vocal. It's funny how the intro kind of grabs you right away, so you feel like, I want to keep listening to this track. You know, I want to know like this might be something really exciting. But I feel like, yeah, before the drop, it kind of like, the drop is cool and the beginning of the break is cool, but it's about kind of getting that part in between to tie it all together.
I got this feeling I can't deny. I believe that my lonely keeps me up at night.
That was a sick track. Definitely like the drop. It actually kind of sounded a little RETROVISION-ish.
Yeah, a little bit. I think it's really dope.
Yeah, I think so too. I felt like the drop was really nice. I think that it needed a bit more depth, like in the mix. Like I felt like it was kind of a little bit thin, but maybe that was just me. I felt like it could have used a bit more bass.
I felt the same thing, I think, and especially in the start of the break, I think Cool gets more elements in the background, because I think there's a lot happening at around 46 seconds, 48 seconds, and just before there's like almost nothing happening. I think it's a little bit tough for the transition. I think it could be a little bit better on that part.
Yeah.
Maybe add some arpeggio in the background, and also I was thinking maybe add some white noise at the start of the drop, like just a little bit like.
If your drop is like your climax, it's like the part where everyone's waiting for that spot, you know, that part in the track where they can really go crazy. And I think that, yeah, if you add the white noise, if you build that hype, if you build that suspense, it's all about those transitions, because those transitions are what keep people hooked. And then you got to have that big payoff with the drop, so people are really excited when it hits.
So I was thinking about the second part of the build-up. I think it's a little bit messy. Same for the last part of the drop. Like there's two vocals at the same time that are kind of clashing. So yeah, I will have removed one of them, because just to make like one vocal in the center, because there's like vocal chops and vocal at the same time and they just clash a little bit together. So I will choose one of them.
If we try to believe in anything greater than a miracle, it wouldn't be this difficult. If we try to be a negative bull, we could be taking control.
Looks like a NCS release. Looks like it already got signed. Definitely like the drop. I think this is something that I would support for sure.
It's original, and I love the triplets and everything. It's super dope, and the sound design is dope also. One thing I noticed is that the mix might miss some brightness in the high frequencies, so maybe turn a little bit of brightness, or maybe choose like an EQ, like there's the passive EQ from Native Instruments, which is dope for that. So you can just turn up the really high frequencies, and just to make the vocals and the high frequencies from the synths pop up a little bit more. So I would say I would do that maybe in the mastering, and otherwise it sounds really dope. I love the ambience in the break. Sounds dope.
To me, I mean, I love everything about it, really. I would have probably made the second half of the drop just a bit more interesting. I don't know, adding something else or shifting it a different way. I almost expected it to like, at the end of the first half to kind of like reverse or do something really warped, because it's kind of like it was already a warped kind of vibe. I almost wanted it to like go the extra step, but I mean, it's great the way it is too. So I think this is something I would play in my radio show for sure.
I like it. Well, I think the idea is quite dope. I think I will change the melody on the drop because it's a little bit like the vocal chops are great, but they are a little bit random right now. I think the melody could be a little bit more effective on the drop by changing some vocal chops which are not necessary right now. And the break maybe at the start of the break it's a little bit long to start. So I would say like maybe reduce that because there's like nothing happening during like 15 or 20 seconds. And then there's the break, and I would say that will kill a little bit the dance floor when you're playing out music and there's nothing happening during a long moment. If there's no vocal, there's nothing to sing. The guys are just like going to stand still.
Yeah, it's a really good point. My thing was that I really like the track first off, but I think that it maybe could be a little bit more original or a little bit more different because it is a little bit old school, which can cause some issues. Like if you're trying to get it supported or signed, it could be where the label or the DJ's listening and they're like, oh, I've heard this before. It's not something like where they're going to jump on and be like, what is this track? Like the previous track, the one that got signed to, or maybe that was the previous one, the one on NCS. That one really like took us by surprise, and it was like, whoa, what is this? And that's kind of the vibe you want to have. Not necessarily always, because you don't always have to be like super, super unique, but you kind of want to find your own space. So to me, it was kind of that, but then also it was what you were saying about the vocal, and then it was the mix on the drop. I felt it was good, but it could have been a bit more full. But I definitely liked it so far.
I love the drop now. Yo, that's crazy. Wow. The sound design is such on point, and yeah, even the mix is crazy. I love the stereo on that, and I love the break because it's really original and keeps you like in tension, and you're like, okay, what's next? What's happening next? And you're like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really impressed by that one, and I mean, I don't even know how to make that kind of sound design, like some serum stuff that I don't even do.
I love this track. Definitely support. I love how it just keeps taking you by surprise, which is my favorite kind of track. Like in a good way, where it all tells the same story. Because sometimes when you take people by surprise, it's like a bunch of different tracks mixed together. This is really cool because it's just like adding elements that make the track have another unique vibe. Like towards the end of the drop, there was strings coming in, and it was like, wait, what's happening now? Like, I don't understand. Like,
oh, I love that, yeah.
Yeah, like it's almost like you're watching a movie, or like you can see, I love those tracks where if you like close your eyes, you can like see the music video in your head, you know, and you're making it up in your head, like this would be so cool for an action movie, or, you know, so I think that's the best kind of track. It made a connection.
I actually love it. I think I'm even going to download it right now because I just love it.
I think it's a cool track. I think definitely would have loved to hear a vocal on it, you know, or like just more to it. Like it was a cool vibe, a cool melody, and it had a good like foundation, but I felt like it was a little bit like it needed more to be finished. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I think the biggest thing for me is the drop lead, which is a little bit detuned right now. It's a little bit too, let me just listen to it. Yeah, it's a little bit too high for now, and it's a little bit detuned too high. So I think I will put it like right on the notes right now, because it sounds a little bit off key, but even if it's not actual off key, but it's just a little bit detuned, so it doesn't sound right on key. And also I would play with the cutoff of the main sandwiches in the break, because I think it starts a little bit hard in the start of the break. So I would just play with the cutoff, put a filter on it, and play with it to make it like
just make it kind of come alive a little bit more, make it a little bit more like exciting in that way. Like it's a cool vibe so far, it just sounds like it needs to be kind of developed a bit more. So that's what I would do. It could also be something where maybe, let's see, this is Fraxy. Okay, so Fraxy, it might also be something where you want to try to make it a collab. Maybe you know someone who has those kind of vibes that we're talking about, where they can make it kind of like come alive more, add a vocal, or, you know, like work on the leads on the drop, and maybe you can send it to them and make it a collab and make it really cool.
Yo, that's super dope. To be honest, I think I will have started the drop around 45 seconds, where you think it's the drop, but it's actually the build-up. And I will have started the drop, and maybe I will make something a little bit deeper rather than making a kind of future-based drop.
Definitely like this vibe. I could actually see it kind of turned into like a JLV kind of track even. Like I almost feel like the arrangement is the part that needs maybe the most work, because like sometimes I feel like this is the build-up or is this the drop? Is this the... You know what I mean?
The vocal chops are like so dope around 50 seconds. I think you could actually make a drop with that and make it even bigger, I think. Because like don't have to make a drop like super crazy powerful or whatever. You just need to make the right drop which has the fills just like the break has, because the break is like super solid right now. The guitar is really dope. I love the guitar, and yeah, the idea around it is like crazy original, so really like that one.
If I say goodbye, then make me alive, make me alive. My heart's heating up, this love is on fire, love is on fire.
It's a cool track. I feel like the drop is cooler than the break and the build-up. But also the drop could be more developed more. Like it's like a splice vocal that I've heard quite a few times, but the way that he or she did it on the drop it was really cool.
Yeah, on the drop it's really cool, but on the break it could be like a little bit more original, especially that vocal. I have some hard times with it because I heard it so many times in so many tracks. That in the drop I don't even hear it. So it's like it sounds like another vocal, so it sounds great. Just need more works around the percussions and around the drums, because it has to sound a little bit more percussive, a little bit more like more attack.
The vocal is one of those things where labels are getting demos all the time from producers, and they start to get used to these same vocals. So you have to do something unique, and you did on the drop. You made the drop vocal really unique. So now on the break, maybe you do something unique again, or try to do something where it's not going to be so recognizable, because literally like it could be the deciding factor between your track getting signed or not, especially if the label already has signed a track with that vocal. They don't want to have like two tracks with that same vocal or with the same track title. So try to work on that, and then try to work on the breaks in general to just make them a little bit more exciting, because there's something about like when the drop is happening, it's a slow beat. Obviously it's like it's like laid back, but you don't really feel it as much. But when the break's happening, because the vocal's like halftime, there's something about it where it makes it sound even slower, and it just kind of like drags on a little bit. So maybe it's just something with the vocal. Maybe if you got rid of the vocal, it would also switch that up.
I think for the drop drums, I would change them a little bit, because they sound a little bit more house now, and I will make some more like a pop reggaeton drums instead on the drop with a pretty much a different rhythmic, which keeps the same bass, but like a boom 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 boom.
Ooh,
with a little snare instead of putting a clap, because right now you're putting a kind of house clap, and I will put just like a kind of jack U snare, those high pitched snares, boom boom, which sounds like quite a funny, but
we're definitely sampling all the things that RETROVISION's are doing right now, and we'll have a pack.
Let's make a track. Let's make sample bag after that. The drop is kind of a little bit hard to follow, so you don't really know where the melody is going and where the chords are going. So I think it could be a little bit more simpler in the drop, Also, the pitching of the vocal, I'm not a big fan of it.
That's a really cool track, but yeah, I agree with you about the vocal and about the leads on the drop. Sometimes with they're almost like it's so many like high octave sounds kind of fighting each other almost to me, and some of them are a little bit shrill, like you're saying, where it's like a little bit harsh to the ear almost, like a little bit nasally. Like I think it's a cool vibe, but I feel like it could be maybe another idea is just to try to take it in a different direction, because right now it does kind of go in like a Rude Lies kind of direction, which of course is cool. I love Rude Lies. But I think maybe it could be, maybe just try to mix in something else in there to make it a little bit more unique. Like I said, a little bit less high octave. Also, it could be a little bit shorter to get to the drop. I felt like there was a lot of these parts with the vocal happening and it kind of maybe dragged on a little bit. So maybe there's something you can do where you can, you know, make it move a little bit quicker. But it was definitely a cool vibe so far.
I like the processing of the vocal on the break. I think the processing, it's quite great. Seems like the manipulator is a little bit doing weird sometimes. I don't know if it's a manipulator or something, but there's like a format change or something. I think it's doing a little bit weird sometimes. Otherwise, it sounds great. I love the way it has a little filter on it to cut off the bass. It sounds a little bit more original on that part. And I think the drop could be a little bit more original as well. This is definitely the kind of track I will listen to in my car, for example. I wouldn't listen to that in a festival or maybe in a club, but yeah, definitely like in my car at home. I think also in the drop there's a kind of soul bass, like the soul bass. Sorry for like beatboxing everything, but it's like easier to to tell. But this soul bass, I think I will replace it with a kind of slap bass, which you can find in some contact banks or something like this.
Yeah.
And yeah, to make it a little bit more organic. And also maybe the break could be a little bit more outstanding, to be like a little bit more original, like maybe loop something to make it more like interesting.
I thought the same thing. It was kind of like laid back, but there was nothing. I like laid back tracks, I like chill tracks, but there was nothing besides like the drop kind of with the leads, but there was nothing that kind of grabbed me enough. And I felt like you were trying to also bring in this really cool like top melody thing on the second half of the drop, but you couldn't really hear it. I think it's like a little high octave bell pluck or something, and it was like kind of like really distant. And then the vocal, I felt like there could have been something else in there, or I don't know, but it was cool so far. I agree with you about the bass too. A different bass would be nice because it kind of just fades into the background and you don't really hear much going on there. But I like the melody, and the songwriting is like the most important thing to me. So you got it there. So just keep working on the rest, and I think it could be something really cool. So that is it for the video. Make sure to comment your favorite track and like this video if you like RETROVISION. Become an official member of my team to start working together with me. Make sure to subscribe here for more videos and to RETROVISION, all links in the description. And now you have to choose which video you want to watch next. RETROVISION is messaging all of his fans in between demos.